Best Buy, little bit of a cloud of scandal. Drew Dowell here with the latest on what's going on with Best Buy. And Drew, so the CEO stepped down this week, and now we've got new revelations about exactly the circumstances under which, bring us up to speed.
Right, they said Monday that he had stepped down due to, or earlier this week anyways, that he had stepped down due to a mutual agreement between the company and the board. Now they've revealed that the board is looking into whether or not he misused company funds in pursuit of an alleged relationship with a female subordinate and a 29-year-old worker in a leadership institute.
Do we know how much funds they're talking about? Was it like a coffee, or was this like some long-running thing, or we don't know?
We don't, and they're still looking into it, so I don't think they quite know, where the bottom of it is either. So is it a Mark Hurd type situation with expense reports, or something more serious? It's hard to tell at this point.
Okay. And Drew, how much of making Mr. Dunn step aside is a reflection of disappointment with his leadership, and how much might be some peccadillo with a female employee?
It seems like at this point it's all the latter, although you're right. This is a company under a lot of financial strain. It comes at a completely terrible time for them. They just reported, $1.7 billion in losses in the last quarter. Their stock's down 25% in the last year. They're under a lot of pressure from online retailers like Amazon. Consumers are putting all their money into Apple products, and Best Buy isn't necessarily the top of the list of where you would buy those. And they're busily trying to restructure and move away from this big box sort of format that isn't working anymore into smaller stores that they're hoping will, get more traction. So they're going to spend the next 6 to 9 months now looking for a new CEO instead of trying to repair their business model, which is clearly broken.
And how about the people inside? It sounded like he was sort of beloved by company employees.
Definitely. Yeah, he spent 3 decades at the company. He grew up there. They haven't had that many CEOs in their history. It's very much an insider place.
Right.
And we spoke to the former CEO, and he says morale is really bad. It was a shock to everybody. And it's interesting. They're going to be looking outside for a new CEO this time too. So, there really will be a big shift in culture at the company after this happens.
Yeah. Now this is a guy who, really, he literally started on the floor as a salesperson and rose through the ranks. Are they going to look internally for a prospective replacement, or are they going to have to, go outside the Best Buy family?
It looks like primarily an external search, from what we can tell. You can tell by they said yesterday they're going to review, they're going to interview search firms. There'll be a casting call basically, and they'll pick one, and then they'll spend 6 to 9 months looking for one. So if they had a viable internal candidate, they would, you can be sure they would move more quickly. So it is an opportunity, I guess, for them to get some fresh blood and fresh thinking into the company as well.
Yeah, and a very difficult time for them as they try to maneuver into sort of a more nimble, kind of mobile approach, and ape a little bit what Apple is doing. Is there concern right now, Drew, that that Best Buy goes the way of Circuit City?
Yeah, look, you look at the industry that they're in, and where you mentioned Circuit City, obviously they went over. You've got Radio Shack in the business, I guess, and that's nothing to write home about. So the model and the way people sell electronics has changed, and also what they're buying has changed. And Best Buy was highly associated with televisions, and anyone who's associated with televisions now is suffering. So yeah, it's an open question whether they can pull off the turnaround and remain relevant.
Got it, Drew. Thanks very much.